Walk on, niggas, walk on. Walk on, niggas, walk on. Yeah, walk on, niggas, walk on. Walk on, niggas, walk on.
So, let's talk about Coonskin. Now, that's kind of weird to just pop into it like that, but there aren't many other ways of going about it. It's a movie that digs itself deep into racial tensions and wears its offensiveness like a badge of honor. It wasn't trying to be a hopeful look at American culture or be just a basic critiquing of black culture. It simply wanted to be a politically charged satire that holds a mirror up to America and says, "This is you." Released in 1975, Ralph Bakshi came up with this film as a means of satirizing America's attitude towards black people and a criticism of the mob. It originally didn't have the name of Coonskin. Bakshi wanted to call it Harlem Nights because it took place in Harlem, but a producer made Bakshi change the name because it would be more controversial, i.e. more ticket sales. Basically, the producer just said,
"We've got to have money."
When he went to do research for the film, he went into Harlem and asked many black residents what their experience of being black in America was. They gave him stories of their experiences, and it led to many different stories that all blend in here. Now, it's by no means a perfect film. There are definitely a bunch of clashing elements here, some of which could be fleshed out a bit more, but the one idea that comes across well is the racial tensions in America and black culture in general. Bakshi himself made sure to even include black animators and graffiti artists into the film, which was actually a bit of a first for animation. So shout outs to a real one for the cause. Not even Disney was that ahead of its time. They had like, what, a few here and there? I guess they were too busy doing stuff like that. The biggest thing to note is that this is not a subtle film. I mean, hello, just look at the characters, look at the blood, look at what represents America. They take Yankee Doodle Dandy and give it a super edgy makeover. These scenes were made to be a mirror for the audience, particularly white America, to look at itself and say, "That's you." But it doesn't act as just a simple satire for white America, it also has a little bit to say about black America as well. The film starts off with discomfort by putting these blackface caricatures smack dab in the beginning, with a live action segment tying it all together.
Why?
But that's not important. It's just a framing device to set up the actual characters. This movie straight up tells you this isn't your average blaxploitation film. These character designs of blackface were used as a means to say, "Hey America, this is how you view black people." It brought back the idea of those old minstrel shows and forced the audience to look at them and be made aware of their prejudice. Some black civil rights organizations like the Congress of Racial Equality looked at this film and found it to be a mockery, even going as far as to protest it with smoke bombs and theaters showing it.
Ain't this a bitch?
Now sure, on the surface, just looking at the film will get you to think it's horribly racist. You know, if you're a dumbass, but diving deeper, you find these nuances to it. And it's also good on the NAACP that they saw what this film truly was, just a very dark satire. They were understood this is not something to really protest. It's on your side. It's just saying an important message behind the guise of a bit of comedy. Okay, like there was no reason to protest this film. It was on your side, you clowns. But anyway, the story mainly follows these trio of black men represented by a darkest tar rabbit, a bear, and a fox. Now, Brother Rabbit, you can tell just who he is by looking at him. He's shifty, he's conniving, and a major smooth talker. Basically, you could see him as a gangsta Bugs Bunny. Sure, he ain't one for getting shucked and jived, but he'll do it to you in a heartbeat. But he still has a sense of loyalty to his friends, so you could connect with him even after he shanked a nigga. His story revolves around their rising in the mob in the streets of Harlem with his boys Brother Bear and Preacher Fox. They were pretty much about getting theirs when it came to hustling. They end up packing up and taking their business to Harlem. There they come across a revolutionary group that talks about taking the streets back from the white man and living free.
nigga dick was all over the place, okay?
But Brother Rabbit ain't really having it with this revolutionary shit and manages to rob the group and take over once the Reverend is killed. This makes a strong point that revolutions are good, but are pretty easy to lead astray. The Reverend preached about the evils of whiteness and the importance of blackness, but everything fell apart so easily from some bad actors just coming up out of the blue to take it all over. Granted, it couldn't be that hard considering the leader had his junk out on display for everyone to see. Just straight up freeballing. But it's important to note that the strongest revolutions continue on to this day when they have a strong enough message than just simply kill all the whites. Brother Rabbit and his crew took over so easily and turned that revolutionary group into a drug gang pretty fast. The movie makes it clear you don't make it far by just trying to cause harm to others. If you want to fight back, go ahead, but don't drag the innocent into this mess. Martin Luther King made it clear that stooping to your enemy's level only causes pain, which is why it was so easy for this revolution to be broken up and turned into a drug gang, cause that's a reflection of what happened to many great civil rights causes. They got taken down and formed gangs. The film makes the point it's important to love your color, but hating every other won't help you. The Reverend talks about the beauty of black skin and loving yourself, but still preaches hate for the white man. If anything to take away from this movie is that it's a lesson many movies and shows have adopted to this day and pushed around other media, particularly Boondocks. They celebrate the culture, but critique it as well. In other words, Coonskin walked so Boondocks could run.
Ain't this a bitch?
The film has a unique brand to itself of its use of beauty and ugliness. This clearly wasn't your typical Disney fare, hell, it's Ralph Bakshi, but that works to its advantage. The movie wasn't trying to be a film for the masses exactly. It had a strong statement to say about how minorities are treated in this country. Like I said, on the surface, you might look at these character designs as racist, but they actually work for what they're trying to pull off, and that is that America has a problem with how it sees black people. The designs use blackface in a way to shame America for its portrayal of niggas, the overemphasized lips, the super dark skin. But the film is also subversive by showcasing black culture, particularly our music. Jazz is very prominent throughout the film and it blends with everything going on. It is one of the most important genres of music in the 20th century and this film celebrates it highly. There's a reason why I use jazz in my videos and you see it used by a few prominent rappers. It is the most influential genres we've made. Now, yes, the blackface designs have some ugliness, but they also manage to have a bit of slickness to them. They can show off black beauty in a manner. The women tend to have some clear care put into them, possibly implying that our women are still looked at as beautiful, but America will still see them as just ordinary niggas. Ralph Bakshi made it clear he wanted to show off what black beauty in America was like. It's no surprise when the movie shows these seemingly unrelated bits of black characters telling their stories, cause that's how it can be for many black folks living in those times.
I know I ain't pretty, but that's not why my man left. That leaving left me alone and lonely and hard to sleep. That's how I meets Malcolm the cockroach. First time we meets, I chase him all over the place and try to squash his long-legged black ass. But Malcolm, he was cool. Night after night, Malcolm remains cool.
My favorite bit was the story of Malcolm the cockroach. It just lets you in on some of the hardships that many niggas go through.
Ain't it been good together, says I? Yeah, woman, says Malcolm, but hell, I can't do nothing for you. It's always cold here, and the few scraps to eat at your table ain't as good as what I find in the garbage downtown. And they ain't the fear of the whole goddamn building falling down on our heads. Or junkies crushing me underfoot. If I can't do nothing for myself here, what can I do for you? Goodbye.
But it really doesn't stop there. You get other bits just showing how far the system will chew you up and spit you out.
Oh, I should have fucked her when I had the chance.
Ugh, you were right. It's not subtle. See?
What else can I do?
You are not happy here. You had to be free.
Brigade, 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 brigade.
Life, or this truth will end right here. That's right.
When I said this movie wasn't subtle, I meant it. Just its heavy styling pulls you in with something that feels foreign yet very familiar. Its use of photo backgrounds give this grittiness that can only be found in Harlem. It makes you see what the world really is for niggas. Filled with harsh dark tones, dirty streets filled with debauchery, graffiti, pollution, and the like. The movie wants you to see the true America. Not the flowery crap you've seen on TV like Leave It to Beaver, but the seedier side of it. The most blatantly obvious piece of satire is the use of Miss America. She doesn't interact with the main cast, but she's put on full display for everyone to see. She represents the idea of America being this beautiful but very dangerous thing known for screwing over niggas, as well as Bakshi's obsession with Tiggo bitties.
Whoa, look at those Magambos!
This being looks beautiful and tempting, but once you step in, you get clapped.
Hey, put down your gun. You won. You can take me. Come on, fella.
Oh, she got to clap.
Jesus Christ.
She represents the beauty of America as well as the inner ugliness of it, and if you're not careful, she just might hurt you. That's why I say this movie holds a mirror up to the audience. It says to everyone, this is you. This is how you view black people. Some lowdowns just trying to screw anyone and everything. This is also how you view violence, this over-the-top bloodfest that sends a terrible message to the people. This is how you view yourselves even. This great beauty that can take advantage of anyone it wants and toss them aside the second you feel they're useless to you.
Ain't this a bitch?
Coonskin is not just a simple satire that tells about the black experience. It's something that forces you to take a look at yourself and ask, what am I doing? Am I really this bad? Is my home really this fucked up? Coonskin is not the fake friend who will lie to you and say you're doing great. It's that friend you need in your life who's very much gone, tell you you ain't shit, but you can get better. Coonskin is dark, it's bloody, it's crude, but like the Gambino says,
This is America.
it shows your real reflection and says this is what you really are and you never looked more uglier. But that's just a deep thought.